Continuing reading. In 1993 to 1997 in the Middle East, holodynamic teachers have created special courses on both the Palestinian and Israeli side of the conflict. Among terrorists, Dr. Wolf was given the name Foraj, a title meaning solutions where none are evident. Among Palestinians, he helped establish the Order of the River of Life for the transformation of terrorism. Among Israeli therapists, special trainings were held in the application of holodynamics to the challenges of Jewish patients and Orthodox leaders in Israel. Results: transformation of dozens of hardcore terrorists without recidivism. I don't know what that word is. I'm going to have to look it up. Also, the successful overcoming of the post-stress disorder of the Holocaust victims and their associated transgressional problems. In retrospect, I'm amazed that such a seemingly small change could produce such widespread results. It seems to me now, as I look back on these amazing adventures into the nature of consciousness, that I personally was led, almost driven sometimes, to read things, do certain things, say something, visit someone, sit in conference, or start some program without really being in charge. As my rational mind would say, I believe it was all bigger than me. It was larger than my rational mind and more encompassing than my emotional mind. I don't believe it was me alone. It was like it was me, and it was also a more holodynamic field of consciousness that cannot be denied, which is what brings me to the next part of this book, The Shape of Holodynamic Consciousness. That'll be the next chapter. That comment, he feels passionate and driven to do something. Don't you feel passionate and driven to do something? And somebody's always there going to complain about what it is that you're passionate about. And I'm pretty sure, I'm passionate to read this stuff. This is the best shit on the planet right now. There are contradictions, which is why I want to read it and sort of give my 2 cents worth. I'm sort of passionate to do that, but pretty sure Dr. Wolf would see me as his enemy and not really comprehend that of what it is that I'm doing, especially reading books that I would prefer you to buy them because he did the work. I want to give him all credit for everything that he was doing, but he's just sucking at marketing and not making the corrections. There's no doubt I'm probably making some error of my ways, but I'm passionate to read this and share it with as many people as possible. Recommend you go and buy your own copy of it and read it yourself if you can afford it. I've been told that you can get e-books for $10, and there's about 7, so it costs you maybe $70 to get all of the books. But it's very important when you read these books to understand the contradictions within it and just improve it. I personally believe in this bottled intentions. I think the 2 of them are a perfect marriage. I think you will really find your unknown problem and be able to transform it. Anyways, I'll read on. The holographic principle and the nature of choice. Choice. Free will. In the dimension form, which matter is a holographic projection, consciousness has shape and choice is universal. Reality is dynamic, fluid, and responsive. It is the dimension of reality. Choice is far more subtle and important than meets the normal eye. When the twist of a thought, our reference can shift. Holodynes take over, sensory screens change, and quicker than thought. Our menu of options transforms. A single holodyne can shift our entire field of consciousness. Our field of consciousness is so dynamic it can explode upon us like fireworks on the 4th of July, or it can lay dormant in a state of hibernation for years or generations as though life itself has stopped. Basically, and I don't know if he's going to get into this or not, but my comment is your free will, your choices are like your menu options. All of your beliefs say, well, I can't do this because of this, 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 and this, and it's your limitations. Your menu is all of your limitations. As soon as you gain more options, then all of a sudden you have more choices. How do you get more options? By gaining more information. By understanding something that you don't understand gives you more options. So that's where, once you're more consciously aware of everything that's wrong, and consciously aware that anger and violence has never solved everything, and know that love is the way out of this, that you have to love you and love yourself and love your world and be in a loving state of mind to be able to receive information to make the changes that you need to make. It's not about just being love, it's about transforming everything you hate into everything you love. Not finding what's loving about something that's wrong. Something that's wrong is just a lack of information, and you need to give that problem that something's wrong all of the missing information that it needs. Okay, what makes this holographic conscious universe even more mysterious is that it changes automatically at every level of development. As our consciousness emerges, built-in control systems take over. Most of us never notice these unfolding dimensions of our own consciousness. We are on cruise control and just drift on through each stage. It starts before birth, and soon we have done it so often we hardly notice the changes. At first glance, it may seem that we are not in control, but choice is, and a choice is always more powerful than programmed patterns that we are embedded within each stage of our development. At the most primary level of physical development, the most crucial choice we make is to devote our life energy to the development of our body and to this physical world. At any time, we can also choose not to give life energy to our physical dimensions, and we begin to die. This to live or not to live choice can be very subtle. It can simply be a matter of choosing the type of food we eat, the cake or the green stuff. This type of subtle choice, sometimes just a shadow of a thought, can lead one way or the other, updraft or downdraft, health or sickness, life or death. That's an interesting statement. He doesn't really get into it as much as I get into it, but yeah, death is a choice. That is something that I noticed about aging. As soon as I've seen how fucked up the world is, I lost the massive will to live, which makes me smoke, and smoking is like going to kill me because every time shit happens, I want to smoke, which is every time shit happens, it's like, okay, I'd rather choose death over life, which I have to transform that behavior. But Dr. Wolf has that same thing going on with him. That when he was in Russia and transforming it to a peace mentality and trying to unfold the corporate world on Russia so that they would make more money, somebody poisoned him with high-grade uranium. And although he can cure heart problems, he transformed this poisoning. He healed himself, but developed a heart problem, which he'll say in one of these books, which I found was really funny. It's like, how can you cure every disease except for your own? And it's almost like Dr. Wolf is choosing to die too. And he's aging according to his mentality. Age is your choosing to die. In how many ways? Because there's a lot of people that look extremely young without any plastic surgery. They don't seem to be aging, and they all seem to love their life. Not so much now. I think we're going to age real fast as long as we're angry. Anyway. Those who choose to put their life energy into some physical aspect of the world will automatically find more energy unfolding. They gain more physical strength and experience more abundance and vitality. Those who choose not to put their life energy into some physical aspect of life will find themselves in deprivation dances in which they become confused. They shut down and their body becomes diseased, lacking energy. Eventually, if they continue in this pattern, they find themselves in the throes of death. It appears that each person has come to make the choices and experiences the consequences. The energy of consciousness follows the path that is chosen. This is where I find a lot of drug addictions are the cause of drug addictions is it's choice. If you are not putting yourself in your world to be productive, the productive person that you are, then you're going to get diseased. And what is the disease is, for the most part, drug addictions. Everybody wants pot, marijuana legalized. Why? Why? Because that potential is not unfolded. We are not giving everybody the potential to go out and work in our world in a productive way. We are not able to follow our passions. We have to go to work for some other guy. We have to do a job that we absolutely hate instead of doing something that we, would love. And there is an aspect of being productive, doing something you love, but that's not a concept that humanity tends to think would sustain us. But if we all trusted in each other that our passions are what would sustain the planet and just provide that opportunity, you'll find a lot of people won't be doing drugs, even pot or marijuana. That makes you sit on a couch and do nothing. You may have some really brilliant thoughts and get connected, with your consciousness a lot better, but at the end of the day, after you get a really good idea, you forget about it because that's what pot does, and you're sitting on a couch and not moving, not being productive. And why is that? Because government control and corporate control. They want to be doing all of it, controlling you and taking away all of your opportunity, all of your potential, which is one of the biggest problems with the Venus Project, is they want everything to be controlled by computers. And, no, just meaningless jobs will be done by computers. Well, there is no meaningless job. Every job has meaning, and everybody has their own meaning with those meaningless jobs. But, the Venus Project wants to take away all opportunity from people. Instead of connecting the right people to the right jobs, providing that opportunity for them, they're doing exactly the same thing as what this government system and this economic system is doing. Taking away your opportunity to unfold your potential. They're telling you the wish that, you'll be free to do whatever you want to do. Well, being free of whatever you want to do is exactly what these computer technology systems are doing. Why have a computer do a job when somebody really, really wants to do the job? Can we not see that this industrial revolution, automation, getting computers to live our lives basically, are taking over our lives? Instead of having soldiers, fight our wars, we're now creating technology to destroy our world. And the Venus Project is definitely involved in that. It's like the Venus Project is a death wish, and they have zero interest in communicating, which is the same system as what we've got now. They want to push their ideas on you and not listen to the complaints of people that, hey, this is going to do me harm. I don't really want a system that's going to do me harm. So then I end up getting comments of, I didn't research enough. Yet I've done a lot of research. I've read all their shit, and I've read a lot of other shit, but yet people that are supporting the Venus Project don't want to read any other shit other than the programming bullshit that goes along with the Venus Project. They can't expand their minds enough to see where the flaws are. They just want to let you know, there's lots of flaws, and there is no perfect system. And it's like, that's bullshit. The body is a perfect system. So how can you say there are no perfect systems if your body is a perfect system? Plants are perfect systems. There's a lot of examples of perfect systems. But yet, if you go to school and get an education and, graduate and get some form of degree, you've been trained and programmed to say there's no such thing as a perfect system. And it's like, now you know more than I do because you have a certificate, you've graduated from some bullshit school, university, and all of a sudden you're smarter than me? No, if you go to a university, you're dumber than me because you've been brainwashed not to think for yourself, to think the way somebody else wants you to think. I'll continue in another